Everybody, I am back and I'm very excited to be back. First and foremost, I would like to say this. I would first and foremost like to apologize for the long layoff. I have been very busy and I've just been trying to make sure that I manage my time so I can give you guys enough time to break down videos and everything. But I do want to apologize. I know it's been a long time and I told you I'd start making some, so that is on me. I need to start taking accountability and doing better at that. Just making sure that I, find a good time frame to make videos and get it out to the people and everything. So thank you for continuing to be patient with me, and I really appreciate it if you guys continue to like, subscribe, and just tell me what I need to work on and be better at. And because, again, I'm very passionate about this and I want to keep doing this, so it is greatly appreciated to everybody being patient and just taking their time with me. I really do appreciate it. Today we have a really good show going on. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the NBA Finals. We do have some breaking news about the Lakers head coaching position. I will get into that in a moment. I'm also going to be talking about the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Asia Wilson, a bunch of other stars in the WNBA because it needs its shine. I'm going to be talking about the Stanley Cup College World Series, and lastly, I'm going to be talking about the Tank versus Frank Martin fight. We'll be right back, and let's get right into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And first and foremost, before we get right into it, I have to say it. Oh, man, this is hard. Okay. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics on winning banner number 18. Congratulations, Boston Celtics fans. Shout out to all my Boston Celtic fan friends, Joey, Kenny, Graham, Sydney, all of you guys. I'm very happy for you all. Deep down, I'm not, but I am at the same time. You guys, like I said, the Boston Celtics were the superior team. Obviously, you can tell that in these finals. I thought Dallas was going to come out to play. They didn't. The Celtics followed their game plan and just used what they've been doing all year to win. I mean, obviously, we talk about their three-point shooting, but for me, the thing that really stuck out to me was their defense. I mean, at times, it just felt like the Mavs didn't even know what to do on offense at times. And so I really want to give a big shout out to Drew Holiday. I feel like he's finally getting his respect that he deserves. I feel like a lot of people, for some reason, act like Drew Holiday isn't one of them ones defensively, and he is. Not even that, but he's just a great player. He's a great player to have on your team, and he played phenomenal. I really want to give him a lot of credit. Derek White, great three-point shooter, great defender. Derek White did it all. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. All the Alfreds that the Celtics needed, like JJ Reddick, all the Alfreds that needed to step up for the Celtics, they did exactly that, and they did their jobs. They came in ready to play, and they gentlemen swept the Mavs. What I'm going to be doing is just doing a little breakdown of one of the things that stood out to me each game. It'll be quick and easy. I mean, one of the things, I do want to talk about the Mavs before we even get into the Celtics. I do want to talk briefly about the Mavs. The next step for the Dallas Mavericks is pretty much, it's just kind of hard to tell. Obviously, one of the things that really stuck out to me, and I hate to say it, but Luka Doncic's defense it was horrific. And you can't sugarcoat it. It was absolutely horrific. His defense was like horrid. I think his blow-by rate was like, if for anybody that doesn't know what a blow-by rate is, it's how fast anybody can get pretty much past you in the NBA. And Luka in these finals was at like 67%, 66%, and that's not good at all. That's really high. That means basically Luka is a cone on defense. He can't move. And the Celtics exposed that. They exposed that really well. Anytime whoever was guarding Luka, or whoever was guarded by Luka, was cheese. Like I said, if you hear me say something is cheese, it ain't good. So I mean, he was chopped cheese. Luka was he was a cone on defense. He couldn't do anything. Boston was really exposing it. And that was one thing I emphasized in my breakdown was, can the Mavericks play defense like they have been in the West against these other teams? Can they play that defense against the Celtics? And Obviously, they couldn't. I mean, Boston was just running different sets. They were blowing by Luka. Jason Tatum was getting whatever he wanted, and he was playmaking very well. Jaylen Brown was getting to the cup. I said that. I spoke about how good he was in the paint, and he was dominant in the paint in this series. So there was everything that the Celtics needed to do, they did, and they did whatever they wanted to the Mavs. Whatever the Celtics wanted to do, they did. They it's like the Mavs didn't make any adjustments to me. From what I watched, the Mavs didn't make any adjustments. They just kept with their same game plan, and even if it wasn't working, they kept doing it. And so, but one of the things that struck out to me, I'm going to start off with game one. Let's talk about the three-point disparity. Boston, like I said, when they shoot over 40 attempts and they make 14, they're undefeated in these playoffs, and that still stood. In game one, they shot 42 threes. They made 16 of them. What happened? They win. What was the final score? 107-89. I mean, it was pretty simple. That they came out firing early. The presence of Kristaps Porzingis was huge. I'm so glad that he was back on the floor, and he was huge for him. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Rebounding was another big thing that I talked about. The Celtics won the rebounding battle, and they were able to take away game one. Game two, another thing that I really want to talk about was the free throws. I mean, listen, little things matter in the finals, and in the Mavs shot 63% in game two from the free throw line compared to the Celtics that shot 95%. The Mavs lost by 7 points in game two, I'm pretty sure. They missed 8 free throws. That just tells you everything right there. And then the turnovers. They had 15 turnovers. And they had turnovers in big moments when they didn't need. I mean, it was just bad all around. And Luka said it even in the post-game interview. He said he turned over the ball and he missed too many free throws, and that's exactly what happened in game two, and that's why they lost. Game three, one of the biggest things that stuck out for me for game three, the three-pointers. Boston made 17 threes in game three, and they were just able to take control. Now, another thing that I really have to give credit to is, early in game three, Boston was up by majorly. They were up big time, and then the Mavs started making a little run there. And one of the things that stuck out to me was, okay, this was the time for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to step up. And what did they do? They stepped up. Jaylen Brown, he took over the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum put the finishing touches on the game. When their stars needed to step up the most, they did exactly that. And I think a lot of that had to do with them in 2022 against the Golden State Warriors. So I'm so glad that happened for the Boston Celtics. They were able to take that and go up 3-0. And that game was a major game. Obviously, game four, the Mavs came out, dominated them, blew them out. Can't really say much about it. I just think Boston was just ready to finish it out at home, and they did exactly that. It was a close game in the first quarter, and then I remember watching the game, and I think the Celtics went on a 9-0 run to finish the first quarter, and I said that was wraps for me, because once Boston got going, it just became an onslaught. And so game five, their defense was just outstanding. Jaylen Brown making Luka work. Luka, the stats may have been there for Luka, but listen, Jaylen Brown, I have to give him credit. And I think this is why a lot of people will tell you that Jason Tatum could have won MVP, and he could have. I agree. Jason Tatum played phenomenal. He led the team in points, rebounds, and assists. So a guy like that, every other guy that's done that in the NBA Finals has won MVP. Jason Tatum will be the only one, of course. But I think the main thing that stood out to a lot of people that voted for Finals MVP was how Jaylen Brown was playing defense, because he was doing it on both ends. Not only was he getting buckets on the offensive end and just cooking and torching the Mavs, he was locking Luka down. He was locking Kyrie down. He was making them work. They couldn't get... They felt like, for me, a lot of shots that I've seen them make easily in the Mavs, in the Timberwolves series for the Mavs, those shots weren't so easy against the Celtics. The Celtics were making them work, and that's exactly what I said they needed to do, and they did that. So that's just really just pretty much a brief summary of the finals. What I think this means for the Celtics, can they go back-to-back? Of course. This team, if they keep the same team, this team's going to be really, really hard to beat next year. And I think they are going to come out of the East again next year. It wouldn't surprise me. I think they're my pick to come out of the East next year already. Way too early pick. But I think this Celtics team is just something else. Congratulations to them. I have to give them credit. And, it sucks as a Laker fan seeing them win, of course. But, listen, for basketball's sake, this is great. I think the finals as a whole, I wish would have been a little better. But, again, I can't get mad at that. Like I said, the Boston Celtics took care of business, and they did what they were supposed to do as a team. But again, I'm not going to keep dwelling on the Boston Celtics. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Jaylen Brown, MVP, Jason Tatum, all of them. Jason Tatum, he's still a top 5 player. He might stay at 5. Who'd have won MVP? He might moved up. He might stay at 5. Luka, though, I don't know. I don't know about where Luka. It's kind of hard for me to say where to put Luka because Luka's, for me, still 3. It may change in a couple of weeks. I don't know. But that's all I have for the NBA talk, for the NBA Finals talk today. I will talk later about the Lakers. I will talk later about the Lakers head coaching decision. But right now, I'm about to get right into the WNBA talk. So let's get into it. I'm very excited. What's going on, everybody? I said I was going to get into some WNBA talk right before the break. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Angel Reese, Kennedy Carter, and the Chicago Sky as they took home a big time dub against the Dallas Wings and Arike Ogunbowale, who's one of the best guards in the WNBA. She's been cooking. She's been averaging like 24 a game. But the Chicago Sky were able to take a win against them today. Angel Reese had her record-setting 7th straight double-double, so congrats to her. And a lot of people, I feel like in the media, have been giving her a very negative rep. They've been trying to paint her as a villain to Caitlin Clark in the media, which I don't understand why. That girl is just trying to play. It's just trying to hoop. And if she wants to talk a little trash, she can do that. People do it in the NBA. And I think it makes it more interesting. So, but I don't think she should be catching all this flack that she's been catching, and I hate it for her. But she's been handling it pretty well, and she's been playing. Kennedy Carter, she had a great game today, 19 points. She led them in scoring today, and so that she was a big part of their win. And again, I want to, before I get off this game, I do want to give another shout out to Ogunbowale. She's been absolutely playing out of her mind this year, and people need to start getting acquainted. Is what I'm saying. All this talk about Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so. Shout out to her. The Fever actually did get their 3rd straight win against the Mystics last night. Caitlin Clark did have a double-double, and again, like there's ways you can paint the media can point and say and talk about how good Caitlin Clark's doing without bringing down or kind of forgetting about the other superstars in the WNBA. An example of that would be Ogunbowale, A'ja Wilson. I feel like A'ja Wilson does not get talked about enough for some reason, and she's leading the WNBA in scoring. She's been one of the best players in basketball, women's basketball, really basketball period, since she's been at South Carolina. She was dominant at South Carolina. She came to the WNBA, translated even better in the WNBA, so she's been playing very well. And they've won championships in Las Vegas because of her. So, I feel like she needs her attention. DeWanna Bonner, she's leading the Connecticut Sun, and they have a 13-1 record. They have the best record in the WNBA. She's not getting talked about enough, so I want to give a big shout out to her as well. The Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun actually play each other tomorrow, and it's actually a shame that game won't be on ESPN. But it should be. I will find some way to watch that game. I wish I could go to it. I will find some way to watch it if I got to stream it or something, because I want to see that matchup. I want to see DeWanna Bonner versus A'ja Wilson. I want to see that, and people need to want. And one thing that I think we need to start doing is people need to want to go watch that. We need to, instead of just putting all this attention on Caitlin Clark, which again, I'm not shunning, I'm not downing that girl. She has been playing out of her mind. She's been one of the best women hoopers I've seen. But there are other women in the WNBA who are also superstars as well that need their shine and attention just as much as Caitlin Clark does. And that's what's going to help the WNBA grow as a whole. So I feel like that's something that needs to be talked about more and more. And I'm going to continue to promote it. I'm going to always promote the WNBA. I want to see it. I want to see it grow. And so I need to get better at watching it. I know other people that need to get better at watching it. Tune in, guys. Like, don't be afraid to tune into the WNBA. Watch it. Just because you watch it doesn't make you any different. It's just like watching a regular basketball game. There's really no difference. I don't care what people say about the pace, what people say it's not interesting. If you can sit there and watch a regular basketball game, you can sit there and watch the WNBA games. And so I really want people to sit down and start watching it and just appreciate all these other superstars in the WNBA. Nafisa Collier, for the Minnesota Lynx. There's so many stars. That's just a few. I could go on and on, but I don't have time, and I really wish I could sit here. I'm probably going to make an episode just recapping what's going on. Once the WNBA playoffs start, I may just recap what's been going on with others in the WNBA. So again, tune in, guys. Tomorrow, like I said, Connecticut Sun, best record in the WNBA, DeWanna Bonner versus Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces. It's going to be a great game. Tune in. And that's all the WNBA talk I have. I will come back with more on my next video. And yeah, next I'll be talking about a little briefly about the College World Series. Hello everyone, welcome back. I ended my last segment talking about the WNBA, and I did forget to mention this. I would like to give a big shout out and prayers to Cameron Brink, the superstar forward coming out of Stanford and playing for the Los Angeles Sparks. She did tear her ACL yesterday, and you hate to see that, but I hope that her recovery goes well, and everybody in the WNBA fan community, basketball fan community, is praying for her and hope and wishing the best for her. I did say that I briefly wanted to talk about the College World Series. A lot of y'all may not know me as as a baseball guy. I have grown around baseball, my whole family. Shout out to my mom, my grandparents, and my uncles, and my brother, and my aunt, and everybody. They're all really big into baseball. I'm not saying that I'm not big into baseball, but it hasn't been something that I've kept up with. But growing up in this family, that has really made me sit down and watch it. I've learned to appreciate it and actually keep up with it. So I've been watching the World Series this year, and it's been, college baseball has always been fun to watch around this time of year. We got the 3-seeded Texas A&M Aggies versus the number 1 seeded Tennessee Volunteers. Remember, they do have that number 1 overall seed curse, but the Vols have made it, and in my opinion, I think they're the favorite to win. I want to give a big shout out to all my Tennessee fans. I'm not a Tennessee fan. I'm an LSU fan, but I would like to give a big shout out to my friend Christian Skelton. I hope, for his sake, I really would love for the Tennessee Volunteers to win a national championship. So a big shout out to my boy Christian. Love you, bro. Go Vols. I am cheering for you all to win this World Series. I think you guys can win. Tennessee is led by Christian Moore. Texas A&M is led by Jace Lavalulette. Hope I didn't say that wrong. But I'm very excited. I'm going to be tuned in. It's actually Saturday, 6:30, so make sure you guys are in your seats and ready to watch it, because I will be tuned in. I think Tennessee wins this 2-0. I really do. From what I've seen, I watched Tennessee play Florida State yesterday. They look like a very good team. They can hit the ball well. They have great pitchers from what I've watched. Texas A&M is also a really good team. I think it's going to be I think it'll go to 3. I think Tennessee still wins, but I think instead of it being 2-0, I don't think it's going to be 2-0. I do think that it's going to be 2-1. But we will see what happens. And again, Saturday, 6:30, be tuned in to the College World Series. Let's get it going. Welcome back to the show, everybody. And yes, I do have on hockey. And has it been interesting? Hell yes, it has been. I have been watching the Stanley Cup final. I've been watching this whole thing. At first, it was 3-0, and it was a blowout. The Florida Panthers were up 3-0. Sam Reinhart and the Florida Panthers have been playing very well in the first 3 games. But then, as I've been watching more and more, the Oilers have came back and made it really interesting and took it and got it back to Edmonton. And it's Game 6. Game 6 is tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Be ready. I'm going to be tuned in. Y'all may be just as surprised, but I'm not surprised, because one of the things that I really pride myself on is being well-rounded and being a open-minded person. One of the things that I have always prided myself on is being like that. I grew up that way, and that's how my family raised me to be. And so one of the things that I wanted to work on was just being more well-rounded when it came to being able to talk to sports with you all. I want to learn more about the WNBA. I want to learn more about, college baseball and MLB. I want to learn more about this hockey as well in the Stanley Cup playoff. I've been tuned in watching it. It's been great. It's been pretty interesting. So I'm very excited to see what happens in Game 6. Connor McDavid and the Oilers have been playing great these last 2 games. Obviously, they won Game 5. Was it Game 4 or 5? 8-1, I'm pretty sure. They just been dominant this last couple of games, and so they get to go back home now and in their own comfort zone and get it back to Game 7. That is going to be interesting. I'm very excited to see how that is going to play out. But like I said earlier, I want to be more well-rounded. So, my hockey fans out there, please give me your opinion. I want to hear it. I want to hear your opinion on why you think, the Florida Panthers are going to close it out, or why you think the Oilers are going to take it to Game 7. My baseball fans, tell me why you think Tennessee may lose, or why you think A&M may lose, or what's going to happen. What's going to be, give me a hot take. What's going to be the difference maker in that series for each one of those teams to win? I want to hear about that from y'all's perspective. I'm open to that. I love to hear that. I love to have debates, and I love to just, like I said, I love to just talk sports. So please People, give me your thoughts. I need more women in sports and watching the WNBA. Okay, why do you think this is going to happen in the WNBA? What's been going on in the WNBA that's been sparking your mind? Ask me questions. Give me your thoughts. I just want everybody to just be open and being okay with talking with sports, because at the end of the day, I want it to be natural. For me, it's natural. I can talk sports with anybody, but I want it to be natural for you all. So I want you guys to be comfortable talking to me about, WNBA, MLB, College World Series, the Stanley Cup, and just really any sports, golf. I want to be more open and I want to be more well-rounded, and that's something that I really pride myself on. So my next segment is going to be about a fight from this past weekend between Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin. I'll be right back, and let's get into it. Oh, that looked like that. Oh, no, he called the fight. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. He's dancing on the ropes. Oh. That's exactly how I reacted when I saw this fight on Saturday night. When I saw this, it was absolutely insane. Tank Davis took care of business, eighth round knockout. He hit him with an uppercut. I think I saw that. He hit him with an uppercut that stunned Frank Martin, and then he hit him with another left hook, and it was wraps. He did the Steph Curry. He did he went to sleep. Frank Martin did he went to night. That's what we called him, night. But first off, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Antonio Murphy. He broke down this fight, and he literally explained it to me what was going to happen, and he was correct on damn near literally everything. So I have to give him so much credit. He's been getting me more into boxing, and I've actually enjoyed it. Like I said, I've watched boxing a little bit, but he's been making me get more and more into it. So I really do appreciate him for that. And it was great to watch. This fight was really fun to watch. When I first watched it, I thought, Frank Martin came out and did very well, and I thought he was controlling the fight for a little bit. But then, my friend Tone said this. He said, listen, Frank isn't controlling the fight. Tank is controlling the fight right now. Just wait till the fight shifts. And I've never seen something like that. I've never seen a fight just shift out of nowhere, and that's exactly what I saw. Tone said, in about the 4th or 5th round, things are going to get interesting, and they're really going to get interesting in the 6th. That's exactly what happened. You saw, Frank Martin landing punches, but they weren't affecting Tank. And Tone was saying Tank wasn't worried about, his power. He wasn't worried about Frank's power. He wasn't nervous, and Tank can take a punch, so he was not worried about, Frank Martin hitting him and knocking him out. So that right there just tells you everything you need to know. Tank was ready. Tank was ready from the jump. He was just sizing him up, and he started. One of the things I noticed was obviously the conditioning of Frank Martin wasn't there, and he kept on just standing there, and he just kept on standing at the ropes instead of moving around. When he was moving around and punching, he was landing more punches, and it was helping him. But he started staying stagnant, and when you stay stagnant, you go night. You go to sleep, and that's exactly what happened. So I really enjoyed watching this fight, and do I think Tank Davis is the face of boxing? Yes. I think if he's not, I think he is. But then again, listen, there may be more people out there. I'm just getting into the boxing game. So to me, every time I see him, he's undefeated and he's beating guys down. So to me, he is the face of boxing. Or if he's not the face of boxing, he's one of the faces of boxing. So I have to give him credit where credit is due. For Frank Martin, listen, that was just tough. He came out and did what he could, and then he just couldn't finish the fight. But again, I have to give a really big shout out to my boy Antonio Murphy. Thank you for, again, getting me into this, and thank you for breaking this thing down for me. It was great. And you guys, listen, he will be on this show at some point, because listen, I love talking football, basketball. He knows his stuff, so I cannot wait to get him on the show. You guys should be tuned in and ready for him to be on the show as well. But next, I'm going to be talking about the Lakers' new head coaching hire. So, hello everyone, and welcome back. I just wanted to end the show by talking about the Lakers' new head coaching hire, J.J. Reddick. I told you all it was going to happen. I knew J.J. Reddick was going to be the head coaching hire for the Lakers. It was mostly talked about. It made sense, and it was made official today. He signed a 4-year contract with the Lakers, and a lot of people may be asking me how I feel about it. I honestly feel pretty confident. I'm pretty confident. At first I wasn't, but then I sat down, I thought about it, and I actually read about what J.J. Reddick's plans were for this Laker team. And one of the first things that struck out to me that I love is the fact that he wants to build it around Anthony Davis. Because listen, let's be quite frankly here. LeBron, I love LeBron, but the Lakers have to start preparing for the post-LeBron years. So that's something JJ Reddick is already looking at. You know, LeBron's not getting any younger. So he said he wants to prioritize getting Anthony Davis more touches, especially in the fourth quarter and crunch time. That's exactly what the Lakers were lacking against Denver. You know, Anthony Davis played so well in that Denver series, and people can go back, that the stats show it, the play shows it. He was playing great defense on Jokic. I don't care what anybody says. He was playing great defense on Jokic, and he was making Jokic work. But in the fourth quarter, AD would disappear, and we can't have that. I always said it, and multiple people around me have said it as well. Anthony Davis for the Lakers has to touch the ball every single possession at least once if the Lakers want to be successful. Because listen, we have to start running the offense through him. Look at the NBA now. Some of the best teams are running their offense through their bigs. Of course, Denver, Philadelphia. The Lakers need to start doing that. I really hope that the Lakers somehow draft a big man or pick up a big man in free agency, and we can move AD back to 4, because not only will that take the defensive pressure off of him and let him do more offensively, it'll also help him more defensively as well. Because, like I said, Anthony Davis, we all know he was a first team all defender, and so he had a first team all pro year, all NBA year, first team all NBA year. But the Lakers just weren't that good of a team. So Anthony Davis is a all-NBA defender, all-league defender, and an all-league player. He's one of the best players in the league, in my opinion, when healthy. And he's been healthy. He played 70 games this year. So anybody saying Anthony Davis isn't healthy, get that narrative kicked out the window. He can be healthy for the Lakers. And so that's something I saw that JJ Reddick said he wanted to do, was he wanted to get more touches for AD and figure out how they can get Anthony Davis more involved. The second thing that I really liked was the fact that he said he wants LeBron to basically rest more, play a little more off ball. And that is exactly what we need. What we need to do. We got to keep LeBron fresh at the end of the day. That's the most important thing, because we got to keep LeBron fresh, especially for the playoffs. And so, if we're taking the load off of LeBron, he's ready for playoff time. We can use that to our advantage, because LeBron fresh in the playoffs, it's a different thing. It's way different. So I really love that that JJ Reddick is going to try and do that. And one of the most important things that I really like about it is the fact of how he said he wanted to he wanted to develop Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Max Christie. 3 guys that I'm really big fans of. I'm a really big fan of Rui. I think Rui can be huge for us. Obviously, he did not play very well in that series against Denver, and that's okay. Listen, it was heartbreaking to see, because I thought Rui was going to step up. But I do believe in Rui Hachimura. I really do believe this Laker team, with a couple pieces moved around, can be a championship caliber team. So I love the fact that JJ Reddick wants to develop guys like Rui. Especially, I'm really happy that he wants to give Austin Reeves a chance, because I see a lot of people saying that they want to just let Austin Reeves go. I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should just let Austin Reeves go. He has potential. We saw it last year in the playoffs. We've seen it throughout this season. Austin Reeves played relatively well this season, despite the fact he was benched. We got to deal with and he had to deal with Darvin Ham. I feel like his development was stunted with the fact that Darvin Ham was his head coach. And same thing for Rui. It's the exact same thing for Rui. And then Max Christie. Max Christie didn't even get a real shot. Max Christie he can be a true 3-and-D type of guy. So those are the 3 things that really struck out to me about JJ Reddick. And obviously he has NBA experience. He's been around the NBA for years. He was a commentator this year. He played for a number of years. So I am very excited. I really do. If I had to rate how I feel about this hire, I'd probably say a 6 or a 7. I'm not necessarily mad about the fact that we hired JJ Reddick. Do I think there were possible better candidates out there? Of course. But if Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and the Lakers feel that he is the right guy, then I'm confident in it too. I really am confident in JJ Reddick. I'm very excited for what the Lakers do. And one of the biggest things is what they're going to do in the offseason. NBA free agency and NBA offseason is always a movie. So we got to be tuned in with what's going to happen. And, the Lakers have assets. They have that 17th pick. Are they going to keep that 17th pick? Are they going to trade it for a superstar? What's going to end up happening? And so I'm very excited for what this year holds in store for the LA Lakers. Do I think they can be a championship team with the right pieces? Maybe. Right now, no. They're not a championship team. Do I think they're a playoff team? Yes. I think we can definitely make the playoffs, but I don't think we're a championship team. So those are my thoughts about JJ Reddick. What are your guys' thoughts? I need my Laker fans. What are your guys' thoughts on JJ Reddick? Do you think he can take the Lakers to the promised land? Let me know. So that's all I have for the video today. Thank you so much for staying tuned and staying watching it. I really enjoyed talking and just getting to get the sports news out there. I want to hear more about your opinion on the WNBA. I want to hear more about you all's opinion on the College World Series, the Stanley Cup playoff, boxing, UFC, all of it, golf. I want to hear more. I want to learn more. I want to learn new knowledge. Tell me something. If I was wrong, if I said something wrong today in one of my segments, please let me know. I will happily correct it. Like I said, I'm here to take the criticism. I'm here for the hot takes. I'm here for the not so hot takes. And I'm just here ready to debate sports. That's all I'm here to do and have fun with it. So thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please continue to like and subscribe. And yes, you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you.